See how sensitive he is? Like, you barely move that thing, he's like, and that's where, you know, see how he's walking now? That's the kind of walk that we want consistently when we send him. And when we've got that, and we can get 1 or 2 laps like that, then we can ask for a trot. So the whole time, like, what I'm reading is his understanding, his degree of relaxation, his willingness to offer to go forward, and that's all coming beautifully. We'll see if he stops now. No, he got it. He's going to come to you. Excellent. Don't hold your hand out. Just kind of be hard, play a little bit hard to get. Just walk away. Walk away. Sometimes, you know, when we're trying to get them to come to us, just come over here and lean on the fence. We're trying to get them to come to us and sniff our hand, it can feel like pressure, you know, especially to a right brain introvert, but it can to any horse. And so in that moment, when you feel them trying to come to you, just turn and walk. And then if they forget to follow you, you're playing that catch your attention, catch your energy game again. So that is where I would stop for today. Like, to me, that was great progress. You remember last time when I did it, we only got a quarter circle and then we waited for questions. Now look at his face.
He's relaxed, but it doesn't look like last time that he really has to release a lot of pressure, like by yawning.
Yeah, but if you look at his eyes, they're still sleepy.
Yeah.
Right? So he could still yawn. So what that tells you is that, you know, there was adrenaline, which obviously is hard to see in a right brain introvert. And I think the thing that we have to really learn to respect with horses is how stressed learning can be for them. How stressful.
Even at such a subtle
Exactly.
level.
Like, do you hear that? Licking his lips, his head's going up and down. This is all coming off adrenaline. And in right brain introverts, people just don't see it, you know. But what it is that hesitant, you know, when you ask, see, this is all coming off adrenaline, right? It'd be interesting to see if he yawns. It's amazing, huh? And he's cocked his leg, which is good, but he's still sleepy. He's still processing all of that. So this is the time when it's so valuable to just hang out and do nothing. You don't want to go and rub and scratch. It's like, just allow them to process all of this. Because the thing with right brain introverts is that they can't think. You know, they need to think, but they can't think because anything feels like pressure. So if you just give them every opportunity to think, do something, the next move is yours, ask something, the next move is yours, then pretty soon they don't even go here. And I wouldn't even touch him. Like, he may then just kind of get totally relaxed and come over and start rubbing on you, or he might just stand there, or he might go and nibble on the grass again, on the hay. And if he leaves you, then you would play the catching game again. Because it's like, hey, we're friends. We haven't said goodbye yet. You know, we're still in the same room, so don't just disconnect. And that's how you would then keep the connection. So tell me some things that were going through your mind, or what you were experiencing as you were trying to do this.
What was really interesting, like, was when he was hanging out with you and you said, still send him, don't get his attention first, because that's what I usually do, just get the attention back and then send the horse, because I didn't realize that he was still paying attention. So that was like, oh, he still realizes what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That was huge.
And so what you would, and I hate the word, but I can't think what other word to use, but it's disrespectful, right? But you can't smack them and say, hey, you're being disrespectful. But they're disrespectful because you haven't earned enough of their connection and enough of their respect where nothing else exists.
Yeah.
So then they go, oh, okay, I'm starting to feel safe with you. What's that? Now you've got to get the, hey, I'm still the leader here, and do it in a way that the right brain introvert can understand and doesn't get afraid from. It's interesting, huh? And also, here's what happens. When you go, I'm going to get your attention and then put you back on the job, then the game changes, because it's like they made you move. Same thing when horses keep wanting to eat grass, and people are like, I can't do my patterns or my games until I get my horse's head up. I was like, just start.
Yeah.
Pretty soon they don't ignore you.
Yeah, that's right, because then
Yeah, just
They
lean on
got
the
you
fence, lean on the fence and let your energy weigh down. Yeah. So he's still processing. So he's still processing. And that's where this is so valuable, to just wait. Okay, so that was interesting, wasn't it? It's just like, just say, hey, we're still going here. What else?
what was interesting that I realized when he stopped that I was holding my breath for a second. I'm like, oh, I should better breathe out. So that was interesting. And also, like, really, if you do the slightest move,
Just ignore him. Ignore him. Like if he pushes on you and pushes into your space, rub him. But if not, just leave him alone. Sorry, keep going.
yeah, no, that was already it. And
This
how,
is great.
like, I thought that I was soft and I thought that I was seeing subtle signs, but this is a whole nother level.
Yeah. That's why we call it mastery. Like this is not something you do at level 1, right? It's really not even level 3. It's now 4+. You know, to start reading this level of subtlety and go, gosh, if I could really do it right and really put the relationship and my principles in front of my goals, how would I do it? And that's what you did, because it's not about the circle. Oh. It's not about the circle, it's not about the quality of the game. It's about getting his confidence and his communication and connection, where he feels safe enough to ask a question, express an opinion. Because then, like even him trying to nibble my foot there is fantastic. And you know, I think of it when people would go, just kick him in the nose. I was like, what kind of relationship is that? You know? Now, I'm going to make my foot hard to bite, but I'm not going to punish him for that. And if I needed him to stop it, then I would just communicate and back him up. But I would not make him feel wrong, because it's so fragile, you know, with any horse, but especially with a right brain introvert. So read him. See now, if you'd been too quick to go and get him back, you'd miss this moment of him really letting go of adrenaline. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? So the way horses get rid of adrenaline is they lick their lips, lower their head. Often they bob it. The more adrenaline they've been on, the more they bob it. Wiggle their ears, blink their eyes, yawn, roll. So last time he did it by yawning. This time he's even letting go more. Because for a prey animal to lay down is the most vulnerable position for them to be in. And so this is really turning loose. It'll be fantastic to see the next Liberty session after this. Look at his face now. So in that moment, when he leaves you, you've just got to watch him and read the behavior and go, how interesting. And I love using those words, how interesting, because it makes you read the situation and try to make the appropriate response rather than just go get something done, right? You go, how interesting, I wonder what that means. So you think, well, maybe he's going off to nibble on the hay. But then halfway there, he lays down. You're like, wow. So once they make an action, then respond. But don't interpret what it might be. Be sure before you before you ask them, especially in these vulnerable stages with a right brain introvert, which is the hardest horse to do anything well with. So the hardest. You just take your time and the results are phenomenal.
He looks really content now.
Yeah. Mind you, it was an exhausting session. It was flying around the round corral. So, so that's where you can see that, you know, the mental exercise is very strong. Mental and emotional exercise. When you play the games this way, when you just do it all physically, there's no mental emotional exercise. There's some, because the 7 games are so powerful psychologically. But as far as building a relationship and a bond and then heading towards that exuberance and connection that is just like, people go, oh, that's what I want with my horse. This is where it starts.
And it's really to look for much more things, for much more signs, and be much more aware.
Much more detail. And this is where you can learn so much, you know, when you play on the ground, because you can read them visually. When you ride them, it's more feeling. So, you know, we can feel this thing of like, oh, I'd love to go and sit next to him and pet him, but it's the worst thing you could do.
Because it will add pressure again.
Yeah.
Now that he just released it.
Yep. Because he'd be going, what is this, you know?
So I would be leaving by just walking in a wide arch, opening the gate and just leaving.
Yep. Or walk over the fence and go. Or if you have time, sit and wait. Just go, okay, I can do this for 2 days, you know, and give the horse all the time that he wants.
Yeah, I might get hungry.
Yeah. Because he's still processing. But the relationship will be different after this. And then you have to watch out, because when they start getting confident, they can get a little bit cocky. So then, once they're confident, it's like, make progress, do stuff. You can't. Even though you go slow, you still have to go forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas when they're right brain, it's like you wait and wait and wait. When they're left brain, introvert, make progress, ask for things, but don't ask fast. Still be very subtle. And he's not ready yet, like he's not confident enough for it to become a game yet, right? But one day he will. He's gorgeous, huh?
He's cute because there's a hole exactly where his mouth is.
And there's a way to watch a horse too without adding pressure. You know, like we are now. It's kind of like our attention's on each other, really. And we're just happily noticing him. Have you ever had a horse lay down after a session?
No, I don't think so.
That's trust right there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like, even if it's an adrenaline release, it's still that he's trusting me not to lay down. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it.
He'd still be on adrenaline.
Yeah, my horse usually does it after I was riding. I just let him roll next to me. So that's what he's doing, but...
Well, I hope you got a lot out of that mastery lesson, and especially if you're fascinated by horsenalities and especially right brain introverts, that you got a lot of living proof of just how much goes on inside of a horse. Now, Hot Jazz is my future superstar, and it's the first horse I have to really get it right, that hasn't come to me with any baggage. So I hope you look forward to following his progress as much as I do. See you next time.